Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is a channel about cross stitch if you're new here, and if you are joining us again, I look forward to spending some time with you. I go by Lady Lugana here on Flosstube, and then my Instagram handle is Sarah Van Wy parentheses Lady Lugana. It goes by my maiden name. And I will link that below if you're interested in following. I have a lot to share with you today, and I apologize. It is an incredibly dreary day here in northern New Hampshire. It's rainy, it's kind of cold, but I'm kind of enjoying it. It's quite relaxing to have a slow Sunday morning and an excuse not to do housework outside because it's downpouring. So I've opened up the windows and hope that we can get the lighting a little bit better. You'll have to let me know if the lighting looks okay. I'm trying some new things. I haven't decided what I like best yet. But as I was mentioning, I have a lot to share with you today. I have, my goodness, I have a finish. I have whips. I have a couple new starts, some plans, some haul, and a really fun round robin to talk about. So let's get started. Strap yourselves in. So the first thing that I finished, you may have seen, if you've followed me in the past, you know that I've been working on this to finish it with the aim of getting it framed for a 1-year-old birthday in July, our close friends. So this is called Dino Alphabet, and I actually have, here it is, I have a board this time, so I'm very excited. My husband just stepped in and he's watering the plants. You may hear that. But this is called Dino Alphabet by Dear Suki Crafts. She is on Etsy, and I will try to remember to link everything below. But I finished this. It was originally a kit, and the kit was made, it came with 18 count Ada, but I switched it out for 32 count Lugana, and it is called Fruit Basket by BeStitch Me. But I used all the called for floss, and this is my finish. Isn't it adorable? I'm so excited to go pick out, I think, a more muted frame. My husband had wanted to make these a bit bolder, but to be quite honest, I was ready to be done with the project. And knowing it's going into a 1-year-old's room, I wasn't particularly concerned. But actually, so this is what it looks like in total. And I love it on this fabric. And it's 2/2. And now let me see if I can get closer. So this is what it looks like up close. In each row. And what's unique about this particular stitch is that each of the dinosaurs, their scientific name starts with the letter of the alphabet that they are assigned to. So I'm trying to decide which one is my favorite. I'm really fond of the Brontosaurus. I think he's cute with his little long neck going at the eggs. But so that is my finish. And I am looking forward to getting this framed and showing you the final piece. So, and Dear Suki Crafts, so you can still get the pattern, but I don't believe she sells the kit anymore. And originally inspired by Cross Stitch Kate, she stitched it for her nephew. If you haven't checked out her channel, I think she has some fun finishes to share as well. In her most recent videos. Actually, I should probably write some of this down so I remember who all to link and to tag, etc. But that is number 1. So let me put that. Here's all always the challenging part is, what do I do with it afterward? I'll put it right here. There we go. So next I have a couple of new starts. The first new start, so last month was Mirror May, and I did a video showing all of my mirabilias, all my mirabilia kits, and then going through all of that, I did start one of the kits. I decided I wanted a mermaid, so that's in I'll show that as well. But then Mike, my husband, was able to see some of the videos. He was watching over my shoulder and listening, and he saw this queen, and he decided that he was going to kit this up for me. So this is in part haul as a gift because he wanted me to start this particular queen. And this is Mirabilia's Gypsy Queen. This is what the pattern looks like. She's beautiful. He liked the rich, bold colors. And the colors, they're just so glorious. They're jewel toned and stunning, to be honest. And if you want to see this finished in spectacular glory, check out BeStitcher, Sherry. She is newer to Flosstube, but she is a long-standing cross-stitcher, and her work is fantastic. She converted this whole pattern into Rainbow Gallery silk, and she's stitching the companion piece Sun Goddess in the same. So this, check out her channel to see this in full glory. It's absolutely amazing. But I'm stitching it in the called for DMC because that's what my husband kitted it. He kitted the whole thing. I was so proud of him. I mean, look at these, all the water lilies, all the beads, marvelous. And I didn't get very much in it because I've been distracted. This has been a distracted stitching month or so. Oh, and you know what I forgot to start with? I have it around here somewhere. Actually, I might not. I always forget to show you my book of days. Next time, I'll have to show you May, June, and July next time, or May, June, yeah, and probably a little bit of July. But this is what I got done, and it is this piece here, kind of going down around her waist and down into her hips with that purple belt. And I'm stitching this on 32 count into the Vale by BeStitch Me. It's my Throne of Glass, the Black Beak Coven 13 needle minder. And that is where I am. And I very much enjoy this piece. The one thing, and this is just my OCD, I don't know, my nonsense, is I struggle with this because the colors are so beautiful, so vibrant and rich, but it bothers me just a little bit that sometimes you can see this lighter fabric through it. And it's impossible not to have this happen, and so I do my best, but it's one of those things that I'm a little on the crazy side, and so it bothers me just enough. But in this case, I think it's going to be glorious. It's not as noticeable when it's out of its Q-snap. It's because it's not stretched, so that pleases me. But look at some of these water lilies, and I believe, nope, that's for the next one. This, oh, I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. This lives in this Liquid Studio bag. I thought they just look magical together. I don't know. But look at some of this Kringles that is in it. It's got some whisper and just these rich colors. And I got to tell you, I'm lazy. And so I don't put my floss in floss away bags until I actually go to use it. So look at some of these colors that are going to be on this fabric. These oranges and this green. And the purples. It's just going to be so pretty. And then, of course, the ones that I've already used, these bright, rich colors. My goodness. And so I am loving this one. So that brings me to my queens. Because he was so generous and put all of this together, got the bead pack and everything, I will work on this queen first. Then the vote from last time was actually Autumn Queen. So it was a really close tie between Autumn Queen and Christmas Queen, or the Christmas Queen. So it'll probably be this one, followed by the Autumn Queen, followed by the Christmas Queen. And then we'll go from there. But this is Gypsy Queen, 32 count, into the Vale, 2/2 with a called for color. So you're getting some good shots of my strange board here. Just tuck this away so I don't want to mess any of these up. I actually got set up a little bit differently today, and so it's a learning curve. Don't mind me, I'm going to just take a sip of hot tea. If you've never had true honey tea, it's fantastic. They put the honey in the tea bag, and so you don't have to sweeten if you like sweet tea. And this one's lemon lavender. Excuse me. Oh, goodness, it went down the wrong way. All right. So the next pattern was the mermaid that I started. So I decided that for mirabilia pieces, I wanted to have a mermaid, I wanted to have a queen, I wanted to have a fancy lady, and I wanted to have a fairy going. And so of those, this is the selection that I made for my mermaid. In fact, it was the only mermaid I had kitted, and it is called Mermaid of the Pearl. Unfortunately, this Mermaid of the Pearls, I should say, this chart is out of print, but it's not as difficult to come by as some of the other out of print charts. I got mine off of eBay fully kitted, and it came with all of the Kringles, all of the beads, all of the floss. I did get stuck on this one, and I'll show you why, but this is what Mermaid of the Pearls looks like. It's, I like the colors, it's very summery. And I'm stitching this on a fabric called Rough Waters, and this is by Oak Crown Studio. I switched out the fabric because I thought this looked a little more oceanesque. And this itty bitty start is where I got to. Our dogs have been naughty the last 2 days. I don't know if you heard, my husband said, be nice, because he put them in the same chair together. I've got to move in the chair with my cross stitch. Let me move that. But this is where I got to. Not very far, and I got stuck on this one. Look at this beautiful fabric. This is by Fiber Arts Amy. This is her dye company, Oak Crown Studio. So if you have not looked at her fabric, purchased her fabric, it's marvelous, and she has a Fabric of the Month club. It's just fantastic. But I got stuck. I keep interrupting my own self. Because the Kringles that came was number 8 braid, because this pattern came out before number 4 braid. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, let me try stitching, or let me see how thick it is. And I did a test, not on this, but on another piece of fabric. And I was like, it's just not going to work. I don't like the way my stitches were lying. I think my stitches were not very neat. And so I had to wait for the beautiful Kringles to come in, and it did. And so this is the Kringles. And the reason you have to wait is because, you don't have to wait, I had to wait, because this tail, this is kind of where I'm stitching in here. This is dark blue color, is all Kringles. This is a very Kringles heavy piece in the area that I'm stitching right now. So I got stuck and I couldn't really make much progress. But I'm very excited to work on this in the next remaining summer months, especially on this gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. And then, of course, my Agnes Little Minders. These I just adore. She has a few on her Etsy shop right now, but I'm looking forward to when she makes another set of dragons. So that is Mermaid of the Pearls. And that is one of my 2 new mirabilia starts to finish off the month of May, or mirabilia May. And that lives in a Little Boat 88 darling mermaid bag. Yeah. And I have another mermaid bag over here I'm going to show you. I may switch it out. And of course, I can't forget to show you Eugenie. So I got quite a bit done on Eugenie. This is a Heaven and Earth design, a full coverage piece. It's called Empress Eugenie, surrounded by ladies. And it is original artwork is by Franz Xavier Winterhalter. Let me show you where I was before. If I can find the right app here. I think I got about 3,000 to 4,000 stitches. So the last you saw it, I had just finished the 4th page, and her head, I was so very excited because there was no more greenery. There was a manifestation of a body. And so she was what I finished and kind of what triggered the desire to continue to work on it. But since then, I have gotten almost halfway through another page. And so it's not as, the colors are a little bit on the, I don't want to say boring because I like block stitching, but the colors are on the more muted side. But this is all of this done. And it's like 3,000 or so stitches. So I've met 2 milestones in the last month on this piece. The first milestone is that I am now officially at the 10% mark. So this is in total 300, it's either 330 or 360,000 stitches. And so I am at 10% complete. And then the second milestone that I finally met, this part down here is officially the halfway point going from top to bottom. So that was very exciting for me as well. I was like, oh, I'm halfway. Not really, I'm only 10%. But both of those milestones were fantastic. And of course, she will come out because she gets worked on every month. She didn't get very much attention in May, to be quite honest, but she does get stitches every month because this is one of essentially my focus full coverage piece. Moving forward, my husband wants her hanging, I don't know. So this will get the most stitches in terms of my full coverage pieces, which if you followed me before, you know I have a love for full coverage and kind of unrealistic expectations in terms of how long they're going to take to get done. But that is Empress Eugenie, surrounded by ladies. So I told you I had a lot of whips this time. The next whip is a Twin Peak Primitives pattern. It is the first Twin Peak Primitives pattern that I purchased. We started this a couple of years ago for my sister's birthday. We both had our own birthday starts, and we stitched each other's birthday start. And so this is called One Nation Under God. The other name for it is Liberty. And I love this piece. And I am remiss in the very few stitches I've put into it over the last 3 years. I want this will be one of my focus pieces, I think, moving forward, because I really want to get this one done. It's absolutely beautiful. It is deceptively large and deceptively dense in its stitching, however. I find, however, that it's also becoming more block stitching. It has a block stitching kind of feel to it, and I appreciate that. And so this is stitched with the called for, it's a week's dye work thread. I believe they have a DMC conversion. I'm not sure on this original pattern, but on their updated, like their PDFs and their new ones. And I'm stitching it 2/2 on 32 count vintage country mocha. Isn't that lovely? This one's a little too big for my board. Let's see if I can, haha. And I was inspired to pull out some patriotic stitching for the very last part of Memorial, or May for Memorial Day weekend. I did have to work that weekend, and so this came out technically after that, and will be out for the remainder of the summer so that I can work on some patriotic pieces, June and July. I was also inspired by the Salt Box Stitcher, Carol the Salt Box Stitcher. If you've not seen her channel, oh, she's got glorious, glorious stitches. I want her wall, her display wall that's behind her. It's just absolutely beautiful. Every time you watch her, you're just like, oh my goodness. But she did a patriotic parade, and it made me really strongly want to stitch patriotic pieces. So when last you saw this, these 3 motifs were done. This was a beast, by the way. This guy. Very intense. And so I stitched the flag, and this is, believe it or not, it does not look like much, but it's over 1,000 stitches just to get this flag done. And then I started coming down and moving on to the little lady. Right there. And I did make one change. I made her little googly eyes French knots instead of X's. But this is what I got done. And I love country vintage mocha. It's just so pretty. And you can see, look at that. It was that beast of a vase of flowers there. It's lovely. I love this piece. So this will stay out for a little while as well. And my goodness. I now have kind of transitioned into stitching pieces like this on 36 with 2 strands or 46 with 1 strand. So this is a bit on the bigger side. And then I got I believe I got these from Amazon. My vintage Betsy Ross and little oh my goodness, my brain just stopped. The little girl holding the flag for needle minders. So that, and that lives in I think it's a little boat 88. No, this is Lake House Stitch Company, and it's a patriotic piece, or patriotic bag. And I like the back. It's like this red barnwood. It's very cool. And so that goes back in there. This is actually a new start as well, and it was kind of an impulse start. I had not originally intended to stitch this, and then I just did. I started watching Katie, Red Stitchery, and she lives in Montana, I believe, originally from Russia, and has beautiful kits, and stitches kind of a collection of kits that are a little atypical to what you're seeing commonly on Flosstube. And so this is inspired by her. It's a Russian kit. I think it's a Russian kit. It may not be. It's just unusual. I found it to be unusual. I don't see many people stitching it. And it's called Red Mermaid. Oops, sorry. And you've seen this kit in my kit parade. And I wanted Ada. I wanted bright colors. You can't even really tell what it is at this point. And this took forever to stitch, believe it or not. So I'm stitching it on the not called for, but with the kit fabric, which is a believe it's 18 count. It's either 16 count or I think that's 18 count Ada with the kit floss, which is DMC. And like I said, you can't really tell what it is. That's gonna be hair coming down. That's boob right here. So this part right here.
You said boob?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
Oh gosh, Mike. Right here. And this has like 32 different colors in it right now and like 5 blends. It took forever, but it was absolutely enjoyable. There was something cathartic about doing it. I couldn't put it down for a couple of days, but I decided I needed to make progress on some other stuff, and this wasn't supposed to be the focus moving forward. See if I can get it close without, it's kind of glaring. Right there. There is sparkly Kringles floss in here. I believe it's the DMC version of it though. And let me reach for the floss so you can see these bright colors, which is why I pulled it out and why I got immediately, they're like bright and primary. Look at that. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. And then we have these ones. I want to work with these ones here. Then, of course, look at this. You're going to backstitch like the shells, the scales, not shells, the scales in her fin throughout with this one here. And then this is throughout her, like her skin, and so the pattern, I don't know if you can tell, it's amazing. Of course, the picture doesn't do it justice, but you can tell. So she's got scales kind of that then merge and blend into her skin, and you can see it on her arm as though it is part of her skin, and the gold kind of highlights and accents throughout this area here. And then the softer colors, which I don't actually know where the softer colors go. Probably she's got flowers in her hair, so maybe up there. But all of these colors are they're just so yummy. And so this was impulsive for certain, but fun nonetheless. And so that is Red Mermaid, and this is an RTO kit. It's very crooked. There we go. An RTO kit, which can be purchased. I purchased this, I believe, off of 123Stitch. I think so. If not, it was either that or eBay. So this was a fun one, a fun expected one. And this doesn't quite have a bag. Well, actually, I do have a bag, but it's hiding. And so I'm going to tuck this over here. Yeah. Told you I had a lot of whips, my goodness. And then the last one, I can't remember if I showed it to you already or not. It did not get, it may have been shown. It may not have been shown. I don't remember. But I suspect that you will not mind if I show you again. This is Jesus. This is a Vervaco or Vervaco, I think, kit. This is where I was last time. He has a nose. Just the nose and kind of a part of an eyeball. Cheekish thing. This is what he's going to look like. This piece, it's just so full of emotion. And so I love the sepia tones. I love the emotion it evokes. I love the piece. And it's just, I love this piece. I love Vervaco. They have a lot of sepia, kind of black and white inspired pieces. And this is, I do love this one. And as I said, I'm not sure if you've seen it, so I apologize again if you have. But this is where I got to. Oh, he looks good. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And I'm did not iron anything. I'm a little afraid to iron too much because my iron is so infrequently used. I'm sure it has dust on it, and I'd hate to get dust on my projects. But I'm stitching this with the kit floss, but I am not stitching this on the kit fabric, which is I believe it's either a 16 count or 18 count kind of cream Aida. This is a 32 or 28. I think this is a 32 count mushroom or just khaki Lugana. It's just a Zweigart khaki Lugana, I believe. But I love this piece. My goodness, it's going to be gorgeous. And so that is Jesus. And Jesus is hanging out, believe it or not, in a Mary Poppins bag. It is a Little Boat 88 bag. It's Mary Poppins, little penguins, and she's flying away with a kite. And so that is that one. So let me see if I can tuck that back. And then last but not least, this is a round robin with my good friends. If you've seen the Huga Stitcher or Erica Fiber and Floss Canada, you have probably heard about this. So we are doing a round robin, and we had talked about it for quite some time, trying to decide the best pattern to send around and have stitching different pieces on. And truthfully, it's quite hard to find a pattern that is suitable and that everyone liked, targeting 3 stitchers. And so I think it was Samantha had the brilliant idea to pass along a WIP that we want progress on. And so she just showed the progress on mine in her last video, and it made me cry. I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. I was so grateful to see and hear that she was enjoying stitching on it, and to also enjoy the fact that it was gifted by my mother, that it's been stitched by another mother around Mother's Day, and that it's full of stitches from the people that I love in the community that I've grown close with. So the stitch that I'm working on right now is Erica's. And Erica has sent Kringles. And that's what the pattern looks like. And she, so the piece that I chose because it had special meaning, and having other fiber workers' art and stitching in it would add meaning to it. Erica suggested this piece because you have the opportunity to do all of the types of stitching that people tend to like to do. So for example, when we were talking, she says you could do the block stitching with the dark colors here. You could focus on a room with all of the little motifs and kind of get that, what's the sensation of a finish because you're finishing a room. You can work on the bricks, and that offers kind of a combination of the block stitching and color changes. And this is a fantastic piece. If you've not stitched this, I highly recommend it. It is Little House Needleworks Kringles. But beyond the actual beautiful work that she does herself, I've got to show you what she sent the box in and the goodies. Some of the goodies are gone, Erica. I already ate them. One of them was a chocolate bar. But I just have to show because she put Sam's in here as well. So I still have some of the goodies left. Primarily the crunchy Hawkins cheesies. I'm so excited to try these. We're going on holiday at the end of next week. And so I'm like, this is going in the car with me and I'm going to munch on it. But I already ate my other goodies, but I wanted to show you how she wrapped them because it's just so beautiful. Look at this. We both have S's, so the big S stickers. It's just so thoughtful and beautiful the way she put this together. And so Sorry for the crunching. Let me put this over here. And then I wanted to show you the box because the box she sent it in. Let me see if I can. Look at this. Friends make the world beautiful. It says, friendship is certainly the finest balm for the pangs of disappointed love. And that's from Northanger Abbey, Jane Austen. Look at, isn't that just lovely? I opened it and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And so I will use the same box and send it when it goes, next I'm sending it to Samantha. So let me show you first. Let me tell you a little bit. First of all, and Samantha kind of implied this as well, it's very fun and very interesting stitching on someone else's cross stitch. So I don't use the pattern. I keep the pattern tucked away. I made a working cup because I want to make sure that the pattern stays nice. And we were lucky because I was like, well, how does she cross her X's? I want to make sure I cross my X in the same way and have consistency in her stitching, so that it's not different when it gets back to her. And beautifully, it was perfect. We all cross our X's in the same way. So that wasn't an issue. But looking and seeing Erica's work is absolutely marvelous. She is a beautiful stitcher. She is a fast stitcher, I have to say. When it first came to me, she had stitched all the way across the top here of the house, or the department store is actually what it is. That right there is an enormous amount of stitching. And she had finished this room. And so what I worked on in the month of May is I started the black and carried it over here. And that in and of itself, I think, is about 800 stitches right here with the garland. And you can see the garland has little holly berries. That's what they're called throughout here. And then I started the second room, which is a room full of presents. In the middle there. And my goal, I have a couple of goals for this because I want to get this room, including the bricks, going down entirely finished, and maybe have all this going across this month, or before I pass it along, to get the full room and going across. That way, when it gets to Samantha, she can choose to stitch. She could actually almost stitch any number of things. She could go down and work on the next room, which it looks like a tea party room, a little tea room. Oops. Put this down. The tea room here. She could go across and work, oh, no, not that one. She could work on the dolls. Or she could even go diagonal because all of this will be in, so she could just fill in the bricks and do the center, what's that word I'm looking for? It's a clock. Grandfather clock, that's the word. Do the grandfather clock in the center. And so I wanted to make it so that she had some opportunity to go in different directions. And this is being stitched on the called for fabric, which, oh goodness, I don't have the actual pattern. I think it's Perusian gray and 30 count, but I can't think of the dyer, or not the dyer, but the maker, the linen brand, whatever the words, and in a combination of DMC and Classic Colorworks. And the Classic Colorworks selection, it is marvelous because it's variegated, but it's subtle, and so it just, there's a little touch of dynamic movement throughout the piece, but it's not in your face. And I just, look how glorious that is. And so I stitch in a Q-snap, so I've been stitching this in a Q-snap, and I will pass it along and we'll go from there. So thank you, Erica, so much for passing this along so I can A, stitch it. It's in my collection and I've wanted to stitch it, and this has made me want to stitch it more. And B, just being such a marvelous friend and sharing the passion and your experience with us both on Flosstube and through conversation. One of these days we're going to meet in person, and I'm looking forward to that day. And so this is Kringles by Little House Needleworks. Yes, Little House Needleworks. So that was all of my whips. I have quite a bit of haul this finished whips. I have quite a bit of haul this last 2 months. I mean, it's okay. It's a fair amount. But I wanted to start by saying I will one day have a pillow bowl. And as such, I finally made the plunge into buying the material necessary to learn how to make a pillow. So the first 2 pillows, Lizzie Kate's, now I can't think of what the summer, this is a Lizzie Kate design. The autumn, I have these 2 finished. And I have every intention of stitching spring and winter. And I've wanted to make these into a tiny little pillow. I just can't get over those little sheep. That cracks me up. But we went to Concord, New Hampshire, not too long ago, and stopped at a Joann Fabrics to kind of kill time. We were meeting one of Mike's chaplain assistant friends. And so I took the plunge. I got a fat quarter of this, or a quarter of, I don't know anything about sewing, mind you, at all. I want to learn how to English paper piece, so that's going to be eventually. And I thought it would be fun as the backing for this one. With, and this is the haul with the, this is Lady Dot Creates Bird Nest Chenille to trim it. So that is pillow number 1. See if you see this next time. We'll see. And then I got, this was on sale, and so this has all sorts of different fabrics in it. And I thought it would probably have a great one for spring and summer in here. But I particularly like this one for the summer pillow. Doop, doop, doop. Right here. And I have vanilla or vintage. I think I'll probably go with vanilla. Vanilla chenille by Lady Dot. It's like super glary. Lady Dot Creates. There we go. So maybe next time I see you, I'll have some fully finished objects to show you. The next thing I wanted to show you, also while we were in Concord, we went thrifting. And there was a bookstore. And all of the proceeds from the bookstore, I think, went to local schools, or it was a good cause. And they had a sale going. It was buy one, get one. And I found 2, believe it or not, 2 cross-stitch books. This one, they're like super cool. Holidays in Cross-Stitch, 1989. This is actually older than I am. Yeah. But let's see if I can show you a couple of the patterns that I thought were fun. Oh, I liked this one. I think those would make cute little pillows too. Little deer. We've got some bunnies, and I like the raccoon. Isn't he cute? I liked that one. This was only like, I believe, $8. So I liked this one too. It's just classic pastel-y. Look at that. That's just fun. And then there was one, they had pillows for all the seasons. They are very interesting pillows. Let me tell you see if I can find one. Oh, here it is. This is the summer pillow. Look at that. So each of the pillows has this house in the different seasons. So, and they're all in here. Oh yeah, here's the autumn pillow. Yep. And so that was one of the finds, just for fun, to go through and see if there's anything interesting and to stitch. But then the other one, look at this, Santa's Great Book. It's so full of designs. Like, I mean, look at these. There's so many Santas in here. It's amazing. Oh, I like this one. Look how they're like, they make me think of classic Santas. Let's see, flash in the pattern. Look at that one. So those were two of my, it was the steal of the day. There was also, I wanted to show you, this was also inspired by Katie from Red Stitchery. These are wooden hoops or wooden magnetic frames. If I can open it and show you, to put perforated paper in when you're stitching Mill Hill kits, because I find that I damage the perforated paper. My thread catches on it. It doesn't hold up well. So they have various sizes, and I just put in wooden frame or wooden hoop on Etsy, and it popped up. But look at that, and they just go together. And this is, I just wanted to show you, this is Candy Cane Santa by Satsuma, I think, Street. I just wanted to show you, it's the perforated paper is in there. It's well secured. It's going to like make stitching so much easier. And so I thought I would share those with you, because I really enjoyed being able to get them and put the paper in and see that it's just perfect. So highly recommend these if you are a perforated paper stitcher, which I am. Then I had 3 bags come in the mail. This is one of the mermaid bags. This is by Rivertown Designs, and she did this little needle minder as well. Rivertown Designs. It's perfect. This bag is fantastic. I think I'm going to switch my mermaids around and put the red mermaid in the other one, and then the mermaid of the pearls in this one. But look at this. Look at these mermaids with the whales. Oh, it's so pretty. And it's well constructed. It uses a firmer foam board or firmer, whatever it is, batting. But look at the back. They're little crabs. And so Mermaid of the Pearls will go in this, and then my red will go in the other one. And then, of course, Jasmine custom bags. You can't beat these. These are fantastic. And the way that this works is she will post on Etsy. No, I lied. She will post on Instagram. So follow her on Instagram if you are interested in acquiring one of these bags. But look at this. I love this. So those came in the mail too. Highly recommend her. And then last but not least, I was going to talk to you about plans for this upcoming month. What month are we in? June. For June. So I have Lady Eugenie, the Eugenie Surrounded by Ladies. I'm going to work on probably One Nation, and I may take a break from Mira's and Fancy Ladies. Oops. But my husband has been asking me about Spot the Horse. And this is a Kathy Barrick Visit from Spot the Horse, or I should say a Visit from Spot is what it's called. But I'm going to stitch this little guy here first. It's in the MPI Silks. My husband wants to be a cowboy, or he likes cowboys, I should say. So he likes he likes the horses. He likes all of the this is right up his alley. It's adorable. I love it. And so I got the MPI Silks for it, and it is going to be stitched on 36 count ale. And then the bigger piece, I'm not sure what I'll stitch that on, but I thought this was super cute, muted, and it lives in a Simply Norel bag, which I thought the colors looked good with. It's a little bit on the smaller side, so it's perfect. So I'll start that in the next month or two. And then I also need to get back to my, Dragon's Last Stand for the Year of the Dragon Stitch Along, hosted by Erica and Samantha the Huga Stitcher. So I will show you, and I looked it up. There is no listed artist on this particular design, so I am not sure if there is in fact an artist to give credit to, but it is a Heaven and Earth design pattern, and it's called Dragon's Last Fight, actually. I call it the Dragon's Last Stand for some reason, but it's the Dragon's Last Fight. And this is what it's going to look like. Also my husband's pick for this stitch along.
Which one is this one? Oh, yeah.
And so that is going to be in the works. I actually have not a terrible start for this, considering it's a massive full coverage piece. I believe this one's 304,000 stitches. I have, I believe, close to 2,500 stitches already done. And it is the tree. It's this part here. Up here in the corner. And so I kind of have in my mind an idea, a goal, or a thought for a goal to get one page done on all my full coverage pieces, except obviously Eugenie, because I want more on her. And then this is all the bag of floss, and this is in a Lakewind Studio bag. It's kind of a steampunky bag. So I think it would be cool to get one page done on all of them this year. Not going to probably happen, but it was a thought. And it is, each page is about 7,000 stitches, so we'll see. So that's going to be in the works. And then last but not least, contemplating another full coverage. And that is called Lady Shallot, and this is another Heaven and Earth design piece. The artwork for this one is by Alexandra V. Bach. This is actually bigger than both of the Lady Eugenie and the Dragon's Last Fight. This is about 504 stitches. And looks like this. Oh, it's so pretty. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That's gonna be forever, but she's pretty. And so I like Alexandra V. Bach's artwork on Heaven and Earth design. So if you're interested in this artistic style, that's a good place to find these types of patterns. So this is another potential. So we shall see. But otherwise, I think that is all I have today. It has been so much fun getting to spend time with you today and enjoying the rainy day together. I hope you have a marvelous week coming up, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye, everyone.